Ambassador Vlek's four hands shook as he prepared for humanity's first official meeting with the Galactic Confederation. His pale blue skin had turned almost white with fear. "Are the shields on our personal protection suits working?" he asked for the fifth time. "Yes, Ambassador," said Analyst Morks, checking the readings on her tablet again. "All safety measures are active. And the emergency escape plan?" "Ready, sir. We can leave in 6 seconds if needed." Vlek breathed through his 3 breathing holes. "Good. Let's hope we won't need to use it." The small team of alien diplomats had been watching humans from afar for years. What they saw had terrified them. Humans could survive incredible injuries. They ate plants and animals that would kill other species. They even enjoyed pain sometimes. Worst of all, they seemed to run toward danger instead of away from it. "Remember," Vlek told his team, "do not show fear. Humans can smell weakness. It might trigger their hunting instincts." The doors to the meeting room opened. The aliens stiffened as the human delegation walked in. Taho Kim led the human team with a confident smile. He was tall for a Korean man, with broad shoulders and kind eyes. Behind him walked Ju Park, a woman with short black hair and quick, observant eyes. She was Earth's top expert on alien biology. "Welcome to Earth." Taho's voice boomed through the room. Vlek flinched at the loud noise, but quickly tried to look calm. "Thank you for having us, Mr. Kim. Please, call me Taho." The human extended his hand. Vlek stared at the outstretched hand in horror. He had read about this handshake ritual. Humans used it to test each other's strength. He slowly reached out one trembling hand. Taho's grip was firm but gentle. Vlek tried not to show his relief. "These are my colleagues," Taho said, pointing to the other humans. "This is Ju Park, our xenobiologist. It's fascinating to finally meet you," Ju said with a warm smile. "Your species has such interesting biological adaptations." Morks whispered to Vlek, "She's studying our weaknesses." "Let's sit down and get comfortable," Taho suggested, pulling out a chair with a screech that made the aliens jump. "Would you like some coffee?" Ju asked, pointing to a dark liquid in cups. "Is it safe?" Vlek asked nervously. Taho laughed loudly. All the aliens took a step back. "Oh, I forgot. Caffeine might be toxic to you. We have water instead." "They drink poison for pleasure," Morks whispered, updating her notes on her tablet. As the meeting continued, the humans discussed trade, cultural exchange, and diplomatic relations. Vlek tried to focus, but he kept getting distracted by how casually dangerous the humans seemed. Taho slapped the table for emphasis, making the aliens jump again. "This alliance will open up new opportunities for both our species. He keeps making sudden movements and loud noises," Security Officer Blaku muttered. "It must be an intimidation tactic." When Ju accidentally dropped her pen and quickly bent to pick it up, 3 aliens reached for their emergency escape buttons. 2 hours later, the meeting ended. The humans seemed pleased. They didn't realize how terrified their new alien friends had been the entire time. Back on their ship, Vlek collapsed into his rest pod. "That was the most stressful diplomatic meeting of my career," he said. Morks nodded, reviewing her notes. "I've updated the Humans Are Scary database with 15 new entries just from today." Vlek composed an urgent message to the Confederation. "First contact complete. Humans even more terrifying in person. They are loud, make sudden movements, and consume poison for enjoyment. They call this poison coffee. They seem friendly but extremely unpredictable. Send reinforcements immediately. We need more diplomats with stronger nerves." He paused, then added, "Despite all this, talks were successful. The humans seem eager for alliance. If we can overcome our fear, this could be valuable. But be warned, nothing can prepare you for a human handshake." The humans had planned a welcome banquet for their alien guests. Kunjin Lee, a famous Korean chef, had spent 3 days preparing special dishes to impress the diplomats. Ambassador Vlek and his team entered the banquet hall nervously. The room was filled with colorful decorations and round tables covered with white cloth. Soft music played in the background. "Stay alert," Vlek whispered to his team. "Remember your emergency training." Delegate Zivi, the alien nutrition expert, scanned the food with a small device. "There are so many unknown substances here," she said with worry in her voice. Tahoe Kim welcomed them with a big smile. "Please, make yourselves comfortable. We've prepared a variety of Earth's finest foods for you." The aliens sat down stiffly. They watched in horror as humans began to fill their plates with strange items. "What is that red substance?" Zivi asked, pointing to a bowl of kimchi. "Ah, that's kimchi," said Hyunjin with pride. "It's cabbage mixed with spices and fermented for days or even weeks. It's a Korean favorite." Security Chief Blacku leaned over to Vlek. "They deliberately rot their food before eating it," he whispered in shock. "And they call it a favorite." Giant Choi, a Korean-American diplomat, sat next to Orcs. He picked up a piece of spicy chicken with his fingers. "You eat with your bare hands?" Orcs asked, trying to hide her disgust. Jian laughed. "Sometimes. It tastes better that way." The aliens watched in silent horror as humans bit into their food, tore it with their teeth, and washed it down with various liquids. "Are you not hungry?" Tahoe asked the aliens, who had barely touched their special non-toxic food. "We eat more slowly," Vlek said politely. Jan tried to make friendly conversation. "So, what do you do for fun on your planet?" "We engage in safe, approved recreational activities," Vlek replied, "like watching the stars or listening to harmonic vibrations." "Cool. I'm into extreme sports myself," Jan said. "Mostly free solo rock climbing. Nothing beats hanging from a cliff with just your fingers, knowing one slip means death." 3 aliens nearly fell out of their chairs. "You do this for enjoyment?" Zivi asked weakly. "Absolutely. The danger is half the fun." Analyst Morks frantically added notes to her tablet. "Humans seek death for pleasure." The final shock came when Hyunjin proudly served his special dish. Extra spicy tteokbokki, rice cakes in a fiery red sauce. The aliens watched in disbelief as the humans ate the red food, their faces turning pink, some even sweating. "Wow, this is really spicy," Ju said, reaching for water. "That's the point," Hyunjin replied with a smile. "Good, right?" The humans nodded happily as they continued to eat the painful food. "They are consuming pain," Zivi whispered in horror. "They are training their bodies to endure suffering." When Tahoe offered some to Vlek, the ambassador made an excuse about digestive incompatibility. After the banquet, the alien delegation hurried back to their ship. They all looked pale and shaken. "Today's observations were disturbing," Vlek said. Zivi was still trembling. "Their eating habits are barbaric. They consume dead plants and animals, fermented substances, and even chemicals that cause pain. And they consider dangerous activities fun," added Morks. Vlek sent another message to the Confederation. "Humans have revealed more terrifying traits. They deliberately eat rotten food called kimchi. They consume substances that cause pain for pleasure. They climb tall rocks using only their hands for entertainment, risking death. Their digestive systems can process nearly anything. We must reconsider if Alliance is safe." Security Chief Blacku looked worried. "Sir, what if they expect us to participate in these activities?" Vlek's face turned a deeper shade of blue. "Then may the stars help us all. Today we will show you human physical abilities," Tahoe said with a smile. "We thought you might want to understand our species better." Ambassador Vlek tried to look pleased, but inside he felt only dread. The aliens followed the humans to a large building with the words Seoul Olympic Training Center on the front. Inside, humans in tight clothes were lifting heavy objects, running fast, and jumping high. "This is Minja Kang," Tahoe said, introducing a tall, muscular man. He won 3 gold medals in the last Olympics. What are Olympics? Asked Observer Klex, the alien physiologist. It's a competition where humans test their physical limits, Ju explained. For war training? Klex asked nervously. No, for fun and national pride, Minja said with a laugh. The aliens looked at each other in confusion. Minja led them to an area with heavy weights. He lay down on a bench, grabbed a long metal bar with large discs on each end, and lifted it up and down several times. How much weight is that? Vlek asked, trying to sound casual. About 150 kilograms, Minja said. The aliens gasped. On their planet, it would take a machine to lift such weight. Next, Minji took them to a running track. He put on special shoes and crouched down. Watch this, he said with a smile. Then he ran. He moved so fast that the aliens could barely follow him with their eyes. When he finished, he wasn't even breathing hard. That was only at 80% of my top speed, Minja said. Klex quickly took notes on his tablet, his hands shaking slightly. And now, swimming, Taiho announced. The aliens followed them to a large pool of water. Minjay changed into a small piece of clothing and jumped into the water. He willingly enters a large body of liquid. Junior Diplomat Froon whispered in shock. Minja swam the length of the pool and back in seconds. After the demonstrations, they met Dr. Sumin Yoon, a human medical doctor. She sat with the aliens to explain human biology. Humans can heal from most wounds, she explained. If I cut my skin, it will grow back together in days. If I break a bone, it will repair itself in weeks. And how long can humans survive without sleep? Klex asked. The record is about 11 days, but that's extreme. Sumin said. Most humans can function on just a few hours of sleep if needed. Klex looked like he might faint. What about limb loss? He asked weakly. We can survive the loss of arms, legs, and even some internal organs, Sumin said calmly, as if discussing the weather. And with our technology, we can replace many lost parts with artificial ones. Ambassador Vlek tried to keep his voice steady. And all these physical activities we saw today, they are to maintain these capabilities. Yes, Minja said. When we exercise, we actually cause tiny tears in our muscles. When they heal, they become stronger. You damage yourselves to become stronger, Klex asked in horror. Exactly, Minja said with a proud smile. Junior Diplomat Froon, the youngest alien, had been watching Minja with growing interest. Could you teach me how to swim? He asked suddenly. The other aliens looked at him in shock. Of course, Minja said. It's easy once you learn how. Back on their ship, Vlek sent another message to the Confederation. Humans have shown us their physical abilities today. They can lift heavy weights, move at high speeds, and survive in water. They can go days without sleep and recover from severe injuries. Most disturbing of all, they deliberately damage their bodies to make them stronger. This explains their lack of fear. Urgent update. Junior Diplomat Froon is showing dangerous interest in human activities, requesting immediate psychological evaluation for him upon our return. Observer Klex was still reviewing his notes. Based on what we've seen, he said, humans would be nearly impossible to defeat in physical combat. Vlek nodded grimly. Let's hope it never comes to that. To understand humans better, we would like to learn about your history, Ambassador Vlek said during the morning meeting. Excellent idea, Tahoe replied. We've arranged for Professor Chunho Ryu to give you a history presentation today. The alien sat nervously in a small lecture room. A middle-aged man with glasses and excited eyes walked in. He carried nothing but a small device that projected images on the wall. Welcome, friends from the stars, Professor Chunho said with a big smile. I'm excited to share the story of humanity with you. Researcher Plick, the alien historian, had his tablet ready to take notes. Let's begin with early humans, Chunho said. About 300,000 years ago, humans were just another animal trying to survive. The first images showed early humans hunting large animals with small, sharp sticks. They attacked creatures much larger than themselves, whispered communications officer Traz to Vlek. Humans lived in all types of environments, Juno continued, from burning hot deserts to freezing cold mountains. Plick wrote quickly, can survive extreme temperatures. One of humanity's greatest achievements was learning to cross the oceans, Juno said. He showed pictures of small wooden boats on huge, angry seas. They crossed water barriers in wooden containers. Plick asked in shock. Yes, many died, but they kept trying, Juno said proudly. The aliens looked at each other in horror. Now let's talk about human conflicts, Juno said. For the next 30 minutes, Professor Juno described wars, battles, and invasions. The aliens sat frozen in their seats as he explained how humans fought each other for land, resources, and ideas. Humans have fought thousands of wars in our history, Juno said, but we always rebuild and continue. They fight their own kind, Traz whispered, and survive. The next section was about human disasters. Juno showed images of floods, fires, earthquakes, and disease outbreaks. Here's something interesting, Juno said. Humans have almost been wiped out several times in our history. Once, we were reduced to just a few thousand people. But you survived, asked Plick. Of course, we adapt and overcome, Juno said with a wave of his hand. Do-hyun Shin, the cultural attaché, added, humans have a saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The aliens looked sick. And finally, let's talk about human exploration, Juno said excitedly. We've climbed our highest mountains, dived to the deepest parts of our oceans, and even left our planet to walk on our moon. He showed a picture of human footprints on the moon's surface. You did this. For what purpose? Vlek asked. Because it was there, Do-hyun replied simply. Humans need to explore. After the lecture, the aliens rushed back to their ship. They all looked pale and shaken. Their history is a record of survival against impossible odds, Plick said, reviewing his notes. They seek out danger. They fight constantly. They've nearly gone extinct multiple times, but always come back stronger. Vlek composed his message to the Confederation. Human history reveals disturbing patterns. They have survived conditions that would kill most species. They have fought countless wars among themselves, creating ever more deadly weapons. When natural disasters kill millions, they rebuild and continue. Their exploration knows no limits. They have even walked on their moon just because it was there. Most concerning of all, they have a saying that survival of deadly things makes them stronger. This explains their reckless behavior. They do not fear death appropriately. Sir, Plick said quietly, I think I understand now why humans are so different from us. Why? Asked Vlek. Their planet tried to kill them at every step. Only the strongest, most aggressive, most adaptable humans survived. Their entire species was shaped by constant danger. Vlek looked out the window at the blue planet below. And now these survival machines want to be our allies. The question is, can we trust them? Today, we'll show you how humans have fun, Tahoe announced with a bright smile. The aliens looked at each other nervously. After seeing human eating habits, physical abilities, and their violent history, they were afraid to learn what humans did for fun. Yoon-ju Han, a young woman with a friendly face, greeted them outside a large building with colorful lights. Welcome to our entertainment center, she said. I'll be your guide today. Cultural analyst Mir adjusted his protective suit and tried to appear calm. What exactly do humans do for entertainment, he asked. Oh, all sorts of things, Yoon-ju said. Movies, games, sports, music, rides. Too many to show in one day. Let's start with movies. She led them into a dark room with a huge screen. This is a movie theater. We watch stories for fun. The aliens sat stiffly as Yoon-ju showed short clips from different movies. When she played a scene from a horror movie with a scary monster, all 4 aliens jumped from their seats. Why are they running? What is that creature? Vlek asked in panic. It's not real. Yunju laughed. We make up scary stories to entertain ourselves. You frighten yourselves. For pleasure? Psychological evaluator Drix asked in disbelief. Yes, the fear gives us an exciting feeling, Yunju explained. Drix made a note. Humans seek fear as entertainment. Possible mental disorder. Next, Yunju took them to a video game arcade. Young humans were controlling characters on screens, making them fight, drive fast, or shoot targets. These are simulations of dangerous activities, Yunju explained. Very popular with children. Children? Mir gasped. You train your young for combat using these devices. It's just for fun, Yunju said. Though some games do improve coordination and quick thinking. Byung-ho Kwon, a tall man with an excited energy, joined them outside. I'm taking you to the best part of human recreation, he said, leading them to a part of the entertainment center with tall, twisted metal structures. What are those? Asked Fleck, looking up at the roller coaster. Rides, Byung-ho said happily. People sit in those small cars, and they go very fast up and down these tracks. Want to try? The aliens watched in horror as a car full of screaming humans zoomed past, dropping from a great height at high speed. Those humans are in distress, Mir said. Should we help them? No, Byung-ho laughed. They're screaming because it's fun. The falling feeling makes your stomach feel funny. You enjoy the sensation of falling to your death? Drix asked weakly. Absolutely. The trick is knowing you're safe while feeling like you're in danger. After showing them more rides that spun, dropped, or flipped humans upside down, Byung-ho made his final offer. I teach skydiving on weekends. You jump from flying machines and fall through the air. Would any of you like to try? Two aliens had to sit down. Vlek looked like he might be sick. Perhaps another time, Taho said kindly, seeing their distress. Back on their ship, the aliens were unusually quiet. Their entertainment is designed to create fear, simulate danger, or practice combat, Mir reported. Even their children participate. It explains so much about their behavior, Drix said. Humans don't just tolerate danger, they seek it out for pleasure. Their minds work fundamentally differently from ours. Vlek sent his daily message to the Confederation. Human recreation provides disturbing new insights. They create entertainment specifically to cause fear. They build dangerous machines that drop them from heights at high speeds. They make games where children practice fighting and killing. Most concerning theory, humans may be unable to feel safe unless they are experiencing some form of danger. This psychological need for risk may make them unpredictable allies. Junior Diplomat Frun spoke up. The roller coaster did look interesting, though. The other aliens stared at him in shock. For research purposes only, of course, he added quickly. Vlek sighed deeply. I'm beginning to wonder if we're the strange ones in this galaxy. Today, we will learn about human emotions and relationships, Taho told the aliens as they met in a comfortable room with soft chairs. Ambassador Vlek tried to look calm, but he was worried. What new terrifying human traits would they discover today? Jiang Song, a woman with kind eyes and a gentle voice, sat across from them. I'm a psychologist, she explained. I study how humans think and feel. Empath Yulin, the alien emotional sensor, prepared her special equipment to record human emotional patterns. How many emotions do humans have? Yulin asked. We don't know exactly, Jiang said. Some say 6 basic emotions, others say 27. But humans can mix emotions together to feel hundreds of different ways. The aliens looked shocked. For example, Jiang continued, we can feel happy and sad at the same time, like when a child grows up and leaves home. That sounds confusing, said Vlek. Young Honam, a tall man with a friendly smile, joined them. I'll demonstrate some emotions, he offered. First, he showed happiness, his face bright and open. then sadness, with tears actually forming in his eyes. Next came anger, fear, and surprise. His face changed completely with each emotion. Humans can produce water from their eyes. Social structures, analyst Gore asked in amazement. Yes, we call it crying, Young-Ho explained. It happens when we feel very strong emotions, usually sadness, but sometimes extreme happiness or relief. Yulin's equipment was recording wildly changing patterns. The intensity is overwhelming, she whispered. Let's talk about human relationships, Ji-young suggested. Humans form very strong bonds with others. For reproduction purposes, asked Gore. That's just one type of relationship, Ji-young explained. We also form deep bonds with friends, family members, and sometimes even strangers. What is a friend? Asked Fleck. Someone you care about and enjoy spending time with, Young-Ho said. Not for reproduction or family obligation, but because you choose each other. The aliens looked confused. Let me give you an example, Ji-young said. Many humans would risk their lives to save a friend. Some would even die to protect someone they love. There was complete silence in the room. You would end your existence for another person? Gore finally asked. Yes, if necessary, Young-Ho said simply. Parents do it for children, soldiers for their friends. Sometimes even strangers help others at great risk. But why? Vlek asked, truly puzzled. Because some things matter more than our own survival, Ji-young said. Love, friendship, protecting the innocent. These give meaning to life. Yulin's recording device suddenly shut down from overload. I need a moment, she said weakly, stepping outside. Did I say something wrong? Ji-young asked with concern. Not at all, Vlek assured her. Yulin is just processing new information. Young-Ho demonstrated how humans comfort each other by patting Taho's shoulder when he pretended to be sad. Physical contact is very important to humans, Ji-young explained. We hug to show support, shake hands in greeting, and touch to comfort. After the meeting, Yulin remained in her room on the ship, refusing to come out. She says human emotions are too powerful, Gore reported. They overwhelmed her sensing equipment. Vlek nodded with understanding. I'm beginning to think humans may be the most complex species we've ever encountered. He wrote his message to the Confederation. Today revealed the most concerning human trait yet, their emotions. Humans experience feelings with incredible intensity. They form attachments to non-family members called friends and will sacrifice their lives for these connections. They leak water from their eyes when experiencing strong feelings. Most disturbing of all, they consider some things more important than survival itself. This makes their behavior unpredictable by our standards. However, these same traits could make them loyal allies if they consider us friends. Recommend careful approach. Gore looked thoughtful. Sir, these bonds they form, they're both a weakness and a strength. How so? Asked Fleck. If humans consider us friends, they might die to protect us. That's very strange, but maybe also useful. Vlek stared out at the stars. The question is, can we ever understand creatures who value others above themselves? Today, we will visit our Science and Technology Center, Taho told the alien delegation. Ambassador Vlek nodded politely, but inside he felt worried. Human eating habits were scary. Their physical abilities were alarming. Their history was frightening. Their entertainment was baffling. Their emotions were overwhelming. What would their technology reveal? The aliens followed Taho to a large building with many windows. Inside, humans in white coats moved between strange machines and glowing screens. This is Sungwon Park, Taho said, introducing a man with bright eyes and quick movements. He's one of our top engineers. Welcome, Sungwon said. I'm excited to show you what humans can build. Chief Science Officer Plex prepared his data recorder. As the alien science expert, he was most interested in today's visit. Let's start with transportation, Sungwon said, leading them to a room with vehicle models. 150 years ago, Humans could only travel on foot, on animals, or in simple boats. Today we have cars, trains, airplanes, and spaceships. How did you advance so quickly? Plex asked. We build on previous knowledge, Sungwon explained. Each generation improves what came before. Dahijo, a woman in a lab coat, joined them. I study ways to live on other planets, she said. We're planning to make Mars habitable for humans. You want to change a whole planet? Risk Assessment Officer Jar asked in shock. Yes, we call it terraforming, Dahi said with excitement. First Mars, then maybe more planets as we explore the galaxy. The aliens exchanged worried looks. Sungwon showed them more human inventions, computers that fit in a pocket, artificial body parts, machines that could see inside the human body, and weapons that could destroy cities. Humans went from first flight to walking on the moon in just 66 years, Sungwon said proudly. 66 years. Plex repeated in disbelief. On their world, such progress would take thousands of years. We're very adaptable, Dahi explained. When we face a problem, we find solutions quickly. She showed them a simple tool. This was designed to open food containers, but soldiers found it could also cut wires, remove small objects, and be used as a weapon in emergencies. You repurpose everything, Jar noted with concern. Of course, Sungwon said. Humans are good at finding new uses for old things. In another room, young humans were working on new projects. One spilled a liquid by accident, creating an unexpected reaction. Interesting, the young human said, quickly taking notes instead of cleaning up the mess. Aren't you going to stop him? Vlek asked with alarm. That was a mistake. Some of our best discoveries came from accidents, Dahi explained. We call it serendipity. You encourage errors, Plex asked. Not exactly, but we learn from them, Sungwon said. Our approach is often to try something and see what happens. By the end of the tour, the aliens looked exhausted from worry. Back on their ship, Chief Science Officer Plex gave his report. Humans advance technology at an alarming rate, he said. They went from simple flying machines to moon landing in one human lifetime. They repurpose everything. Even peaceful tools can become weapons. Most concerning of all, they experiment with little caution, learning from accidents and mistakes. Vlek sent his message to the Confederation. Human innovation poses possible threats. They advance too quickly to predict. They plan to change whole planets to suit their needs. Their approach to science lacks proper caution. They try things and see what happens. This explains how they developed so rapidly, but raises concerns about what they might create next. Their adaptability makes them both dangerous and potentially valuable allies. Recommend careful monitoring of all technology shared with humans. Risk Assessment Officer Jar looked troubled. Sir, if humans continue advancing at this rate, they will surpass our technology within decades. Vlek nodded slowly. Then perhaps it's better to have them as friends than enemies. A week into the diplomatic mission, Ambassador Vlek was feeling tired. Each day had brought new surprises about humans. He was starting to think nothing could shock him anymore. He was wrong. The aliens and humans were meeting in a tall building in Seoul when the floor suddenly shook. A low rumble filled the air. Lights flickered and then went out. Earthquake, Tahoe shouted, his voice calm but firm. The aliens froze in fear. The building was moving. Chunks of ceiling began to fall. Under the tables, now, ordered a tall human who had just entered the room. This was Captain Jae-hyun Moon, head of the emergency response team. The aliens watched in confusion as the humans immediately got under the tables. They didn't run. They didn't scream. Instead, they became calmer and more focused. What is happening? Vlek asked, his voice shaking. The ground is shaking. It's dangerous, Tahoe explained quickly. Get under the table for protection. Supreme Commander Vrax, who had arrived the previous day to check on the diplomatic mission, was standing frozen near a window. Sir, Please move away from the glass, Jaehyun called to him. When Vrax didn't move, Taho ran across the shaking room, grabbed the alien commander, and pulled him to safety just as the window shattered. Taho's arm was cut by flying glass, but he ignored the blood. "Are you okay?" he asked Vrax, who could only nod in shock. For the next 20 minutes, the humans took charge. They organized the aliens into safe groups. They treated injuries. They kept everyone calm with clear instructions. Dr. Miju Kim, a quick-thinking problem solver, noticed that part of the ceiling was about to collapse above two young aliens. "Watch out," she shouted, running toward the danger instead of away from it. She pushed the aliens to safety just as the ceiling fell, trapping her leg under heavy debris. Containment specialist Sybil, who had been sent to evaluate the human threat, stared in disbelief. She put herself in danger. For us. When the shaking finally stopped, the humans immediately began helping others. Captain Jaehyun organized search teams to look for anyone trapped in the building. Humans with bleeding cuts ignored their own injuries to help others. "The stairs are blocked, but I found another way out," Jaehyun announced. "Follow me and stay together." The aliens watched as the humans efficiently led everyone to safety, checking constantly to make sure no one was left behind. Outside, the city was damaged. Some buildings had fallen. There were fires and blocked roads, but the humans were already working together to help the injured and clear paths. "Why aren't they panicking?" Supreme Commander Vrax asked Vlek. "I don't know," Vlek replied, watching humans run toward collapsed buildings to save those trapped inside. Dr. Meiju, her leg bandaged but still limping, was already helping treat others. "Are any of your people hurt?" she asked the aliens with genuine concern. That night, safe in their ship, the aliens held an emergency meeting. "I came here to evaluate the human threat," Supreme Commander Vrax said. "Today, I saw humans run into danger to save others, including us. They become calmer during emergencies," Vlek noted, "not more afraid. And they protected us before themselves," added Zebul. "The human Tahoe saved me from the falling glass. Dr. Meiju was injured saving our junior diplomats." Vrax nodded slowly. "In all my years of service, I've never seen anything like it." Vlek composed a very different message to the Confederation. "Today we witnessed the most surprising human trait yet. During a dangerous earthquake, humans became calmer and more organized. They ran toward danger to save others. They protected us before themselves. They treated their own injuries last. The same aggression and fearlessness that makes them terrifying also makes them the most selfless protectors we have ever encountered. I no longer believe humans are a threat. I believe they could be our greatest allies." Supreme Commander Vrax added his own note. "I agree." 2 days after the earthquake, the final diplomatic meeting was scheduled. The aliens arrived early, their attitudes noticeably different. "I never thought I would say this," Vlek told his team, "but I'm actually looking forward to seeing the humans today." The others nodded in agreement. Even Security Chief Blaku, who had been the most suspicious of humans, seemed relaxed. Tahoe and his team arrived with warm smiles. His arm was still bandaged from the glass cuts he received while saving Supreme Commander Vrax. "How is everyone feeling today?" Tahoe asked with genuine concern. "We are well, thanks to your quick actions," Vlek replied. For the first time, he didn't flinch when Tahoe offered a handshake. The meeting room was filled with both human and alien diplomats. Dr. Meiju sat with her injured leg propped up, but she insisted on attending. Juyang and Youngo chatted easily with Empath Yulin, who was no longer overwhelmed by human emotions. Sungwon showed Chief Science Officer Plex some technology designs, and the alien scientist looked genuinely interested. "Before we sign the official treaty," Tahoe said, "I want to thank all of you for your patience during these 2 weeks. We know humans can seem strange to other species." Supreme Commander Vrax stood up. "At first, we found humans terrifying," he admitted. "You eat strange foods. You enjoy danger. Your history is filled with conflict. Your emotions are intense. You advance technology with alarming speed. The humans looked surprised at this honest assessment. But Vrax continued, during the earthquake, we saw something else. You become stronger during a crisis, not weaker. You protect others before yourselves. These same traits that made us fear you also make you valuable allies. Tahoe smiled. We have a saying on Earth. Judge someone not by their words, but by their actions in a crisis. Ambassador Vlek stepped forward with a small device. I have received a message from our Confederation. They have reviewed all our reports about humans and have authorized a full alliance. They believe, as I now do, that humans will make loyal friends and strong protectors. The treaty was simple but powerful. Humans would join the Galactic Confederation as full members. They would share their unique abilities and receive new technologies in return. Both species would protect each other. When it was time to sign, Vlek took a deep breath and did something no alien had ever done before. He removed his protective glove and offered his bare hand to Tahoe. The room went silent. Even the aliens looked shocked. This is a great honor, Tahoe said softly, understanding the significance. He gently shook Vlek's hand. After the signing, Junior Diplomat Vroon approached John with a determined look. I would still like to learn rock climbing, he said. Jan grinned. I'd be happy to teach you. We'll start with something easy. Nearby, Minjae was showing Observer Klex some simple exercises. These won't damage your muscles too much, he promised. Delegate Zivi was cautiously tasting a very mild kimchi that Hyunjin had prepared specially for alien digestion. As the celebration continued, Vlek found a quiet moment with Tahoe. When we first arrived, we were terrified of humans, Vlek confessed. We thought you were the most frightening species in the galaxy. Tahoe laughed. And now? Now we understand that what makes humans scary also makes them special. Your planet tried to kill you at every turn, so you evolved to be fighters and survivors. But you also evolved to protect each other, to care for strangers, to run toward danger when someone needs help. That's just being human, Tahoe said simply. Vlek looked around at the room full of humans and aliens, now talking and laughing together. The Confederation has existed for thousands of years, but I believe adding humans will change everything. For the better. As the diplomatic mission ended, no one needed to remind the aliens not to freak out at humans anymore. They had seen beyond the scary exterior to the loyal, brave hearts within. The creatures they once feared would now be their greatest protectors in a dangerous galaxy. And Junior Diplomat Vroon was already planning his first rock climbing trip to Earth.